What's up, it's your boy Lobster MMA, and today guys, first of all, we got, as you can see on the screen, two huge fights in the welterweight division, and also in the later part of the video I'm gonna talk about two of the most underrated fighters in UFC and two of the most overrated ones. Basically, that's the main part of the video. I'm just going to make an early prediction for those fights on the screen just quickly. So first, Shavkat versus Ian Garry for UFC 310. That's the co-main event. And we got Colby Covington, my favorite fighter, versus Buckley. And my picks, I'm picking Shavkat and I'm picking Colby. So basically the UFC has made some changes because, as you know, Belal pulled out against Shavkat because he has like a bone infection, and Ian Garry stepped in, but Ian Garry should have been fighting Buckley, but Colby stepped in again instead of Garry, and now Garry, he's fighting for a number one contender spot. And just say a few words about my picks. I think Shavkat, he's more dangerous everywhere. And Ian Garry, he's on that vegan diet and his physicality is just declining at this point. He doesn't eat meat, and look at his performances. I mean, MVP. Before that fight, everyone was talking about, first of all, Ian Garry was the favorite, and everyone was talking about Ian Garry potentially KOing MVP, and MVP outstruck him easily, and Ian Garry had to take him down to win the fight. It was a clear win for him, but it was just the grappling because MVP landed some big bombs on Ian Garry. And before that, he had a split decision with Jeff Neal, not a good look, and also couldn't finish Neil Magny. It was basically like a 30-26. He had probably like 2 10-8 rounds, at least one. Neil Magny had nothing on the feet. I mean, he was just defenseless. And Ian Garry was just chopping off his legs, and he could have easily finished him. He didn't. So Ian Garry, he doesn't really KO people, at least at the elite level. You won't see him hurting anyone. And Shavkat, his best win is over Wonderboy, but at least he submitted Wonderboy, because Stephen Thompson, I mean, he doesn't really get submitted. Gilbert Burns couldn't submit him, and Shavkat did. And also Belal couldn't submit Gilbert Burns. And Shavkat has more power, and on the feet, I think it's very competitive. Maybe I can see Ian Garry even outstriking him, but Shavkat, he's just more wild, and he can take down Ian Garry and potentially sub him. But let's get on to the next fight. Colby versus Buckley. That's a very dangerous fight for Colby, and also it's on short notice. Buckley has been preparing for this fight for a few weeks now, and Colby has just started his training camp, but I do believe in him. People underrate Colby a lot, and people are saying Buckley's gonna KO him. Colby has never been KO'd, and I think if he survives the first 2 rounds, or maybe even, I think the first 2 rounds, if he survives those, he wins. Because Buckley, I know he beat Wonderboy. Wonderboy was 41, and we know Wonderboy. The guy, his last win was over Kevin Holland. Respect for Wonderboy, but at this point, he's not an amazing win for anyone. And Buckley before that, he beat Nursultan Uziboyev, who now we know he's not that good, he's not even ranked. And he beat Vicente Luque, who just basically quit. And I love Buckley, I think he's entertaining on the mic and in the cage. But I'm rooting for Colby and I think he wins. So, but guys, let's get on to the main topic of the video. So first, we're gonna start off with the most underrated fighter in the whole UFC, which is Colby Covington. So basically, the narrative around him is that basically every striker in welterweight KOs him. Like, they saying things like Ian Garry could potentially KO him, which is fucking ridiculous. I mean, Ian Garry hasn't KO'd anybody, you know, he KO'd D-Rod. But bro, don't compare D-Rod to Colby. And they saying that JDM KO Colby. That's a very small chance. JDM, we're gonna talk about him later. But listen, JDM, Colby would take down JDM for 5 rounds and drown him. And that will be the whole fight. Because JDM, you know what? I'm not saying anything about him for now. Because as I said, I'm gonna talk about him later. But Colby, people forget, man. Like, this guy was basically, he won 6 out of 10 rounds against a prime Usman, maybe 5. You know, if you wanna be generous to Usman, then 5. But that's an amazing stat against a prime Usman, and a prime Usman, you know, he's like around that number 10 spot in the GOAT list for me. And Colby, listen, I think in the first Usman fight, I think if the referee is not Mark Goddard and if it's a better referee, Colby wins. Because listen, first round, second round, fourth round, those are Colby rounds. I know, third round, it was a pretty dominant one for Usman. He broke Colby's jaw. Fifth round was also dominant for Usman. But when the finishing sequence happened, there was only like 40 seconds on the clock. And Colby, and also, Usman was hitting Colby with back of the head shots. And so, a good referee would have separated them and basically would have warned Usman. And I think, you know, 40 seconds, Colby survives that, even if after getting rocked twice. I think if his coaches, you know, start, you know, yelling that 30 seconds Colby would have survived and he would have become the undisputed champ. And also, Colby was robbed so many times, bro. First of all, when he won the interim championship, he beat RDA, who was coming off a win against Robbie Lawler at the time. And Tyron Woodley was the champ. So basically, Colby beat RDA at UFC 225, and Woodley fought Darren Till at UFC 228. And then, of course, Colby should have got the undisputed title shot. But, listen, I don't know why this happened and how, but Usman got the title shot off of beating Demian Maia and RDA. Those guys, both of them, were coming off losses against Colby. And so why didn't he get the title shot? I just don't understand, because if he would have got the title shot, he would have become a champ. That's because we've already seen his fight against Tyron Woodley, and we know how it played out. I know Woodley would have been 2 years younger if they fought when Woodley was a champ. But and even after Usman's performance, taking down Woodley left and right, having, I don't know, 15 minutes of control time, maybe a bit, less, Colby would have probably destroyed Woodley, and we never saw that. I mean, we kind of did. We've actually seen it, but Woodley was not a champ. That was just a number one contender fight. Yeah. And also in the second fight with Usman, listen, I think after watching the fight, I was like, Usman won. I think he did more damage in the fight, but I see a lot of people saying that Colby won 3-4-5, and it's a potential draw, because the second round you can say it's a 10-8 round, and I think the fourth and the fifth are clear for Colby, but the third round, that's the one that's controversial, But as I said, if you wanna be generous to Colby, give him the round. That will mean that he won 6 rounds out of 10 to Kamaru. So, like, I don't wanna, say some wild shit. Listen, I think a prime Colby, like a 2018, 2020 Colby, when he didn't have the beard, or even when he had the beard, like when he was fighting like Masvidal. But I like the Colby without the beard. I think he was better without the beard. And so that version of Colby, dude, people forget he was a savage, and I think he still is, because people talk about his last performance, and his last performance basically gained him a lot of haters, because, as you know, before the fight at the press conference, he mentioned Leon's dad and talked a lot of shit. I knew that mentioning Leon's dad was too much, but he tried to sell the fight, he did, because after the press conference and during the press conference, the pay-per-view sales basically went up by 25%. So, and it's like, I'm in some Facebook discussion groups, some UFC groups in Facebook, and people are like really want him to lose, and not just that, they discrediting his skill set and what he's done. Like, people, yeah, that's also like a sentence that I hear often, that Colby he's only praised for losing to Usman twice, but they are the same people who will say things like, Colby in the first fight was up 3-1, and I think he won the third round against Usman in the second fight. They are the same guys. So at this point, I just don't understand. And also the fact that they say things like Ian Garry is like a very dangerous matchup for Colby. It's just ridiculous. And I don't even understand, why did Colby duck Ian Garry? Because he wants to fight JDM, but doesn't want to fight Ian Garry. It just makes no sense. Because against Ian Garry, the build-up would have been legendary. I mean, both guys hate each other massively. Colby has made 2 promos that were fucking hilarious, and the fight was out of the window, because I know Colby was campaigning with Trump. But then why did he make the promo then? So, but for Colby, I think that's it. And also in the Leon fight, I know that was kind of a shit performance, but you gotta think about it that Colby, in the first minute, he broke his foot in 3 places, and so basically he only had 1 foot in the whole fight. And in the 5th round, Colby went out there and slammed Leon, bro. Slammed Leon and starting pounding on his face. And if Colby, listen, if he didn't break his foot, I think he would have destroyed Leon. Because Leon didn't have anything to offer, bro. He was landing some fucking not even significant strikes, bro. They were not even significant. His only significant strikes were the leg kicks, because those were actually kind of affecting Colby a bit, because his one of his thighs were fucking blue, like his hamstrings. And but when it comes to landing to the head, Leon had one nice shot that spanned Colby's head. Besides that, I can't remember any shot on the feet that's basically had a big effect. Even after the fight, Colby said in the post-fight interview that he basically didn't take any damage. You know, look at Bilal's performance against Leon. Colby would have done the same. Trust me, he would have done the same. He had 1 foot. People were talking about after the Bilal fight, and Colby's like, you know, Colby said that he should have been the one, and like he would have done the same, bro. It was just fucking unlucky because he broke his fucking foot, and he didn't get finished at least, and he didn't get absolutely shut down, and it was still like a close fight, kind of, you know. It was a clear win for Leon, but it was competitive. And for now, I mean, Colby, you know, he's fighting Buckley. If he wins that, then I think he should fight JDM if he can, because I think he absolutely beats him. Like, JDM, you know what? I'm gonna talk about him later, and I'm gonna talk about this matchup when I talk about JDM. So, for now, we're gonna move on to, I think, maybe the second most underrated guy, maybe not the second one, but a champion who I think people should talk about more, because I think he has one of the best skill sets in all of MMA, and he's just not being talked about enough. And you know what? Let's just listen. Here he is, Islam Makhachev. People like to think that Khabib's still better than him, which is like, why? Look at their resumes, look at their title wins, and look at their wins before that. To be fair, the Khabib's wins before the title were better than Islam's wins before the title, because Islam's wins, he beat Dan Hooker, he beat Bobby Green and Drew Dober and Thiago Moises. And Khabib beat RDA and Edson Barboza. And those, I think beating RDA, I mean the Dan Hooker, you can argue that beating Dan Hooker is better than beating RDA. Like, at this point, you know, I think Dan Hooker is probably a more stable guy than RDA. So, and the Edson Barboza win, I think beating Edson Barboza in 2018 is better than beating Bobby Green. So, at any point, even though Khabib's wins or better before his title run. Look at the title run, okay? Islam has beaten Charles Oliveira, Volkanovski twice, and Dustin Poirier. To be fair, the second Volk win is not something that's an amazing win, because Volk, going into that fight, he was fat, he was totally out of shape, he had a horrible weight cut, and he was coming off a surgery, I believe, and also it was on like a week's notice for him. So, but I do think that win is still better than beating fucking Ala Quinta for a title, bro. Ala Quinta, he was ranked like number 11th when he got a title shot. Maybe not 11th, but Ala Quinta still, the guy has 14 wins and 7 losses on his record. In Khabib, there was a massive gap between their ranking. But I think that, you know, Ala Quinta, that was a short notice for him too. So let's look at the other wins. Beating Volkanovski is better than beating Conor McGregor. Beating Dustin Poirier is better than beating Justin Gaethje. And beating Charles Oliveira is better than beating Dustin Poirier. And also, you know, Khabib, he subbed all of them. Yeah. Ala Quinta went to decision with Ala Quinta, which is a pretty bad look, to be fair. But you know, he subbed Conor, subbed Gaethje, subbed Poirier. Islam, he's beating all of these guys in their own game. Oh, like Charles Oliveira, the submission king, subs everyone, has the most submissions, I believe, in the UFC or something like that. And Islam subs him and shuts him down. Charles couldn't do anything. Volkanovski is considered as one of the best strikers in the sport, like all time. And he basically outstruck Volkanovski. And Volkanovski is a featherweight, so you know he's faster. In Islam, it was like a 49-46, maybe a 48-47. And I'm not saying easily beat him, he almost got finished in the last 10 seconds. But beating Volkanovski in his prime on the feet is very, very impressive. And Dustin Poirier is probably the best boxer at lightweight. Islam Makhachev outboxed him. And even like there was a time around the Dustin Poirier fight and before that, when people were saying things like Islam should fight Mateusz Gamrot because he hasn't fought enough lightweights. Yeah, even after the Dustin fight, I think there were some people actually saying that. But then Mateusz Gamrot got beat by Dan Hooker. And also, not many people consider this guy as like a top 5 GOAT. And you know, people are like, I've seen and heard people like in the comments and in some, you know, those interviews, those TNT Sports and those mainstream ESPN MMA, those kind of medias, like some reporters and guys, they just said that Islam, you know, he's in the conversation for being in like a top 15, like those kind of bullshit that like Islam Makhachev, bro, he's a top 5. Yeah, he's that, you know what? He's definitely top 5 because he's better than Khabib, and Khabib, is around that number 6, 7 spot, and Islam is better than Khabib. So he's just better. I mean, so that would mean, Khabib is like, let's say he's 6th or 7th. Islam, I mean, there's Volk, there's DJ, there's John Jones and GSP. I think Islam needs just a bit more quantity. I think he should beat Arman, and if he beats Arman, then let's just put him in the free spot. And if he beats some guy like an Ilia Topuria, then he's the GOAT. Or yeah, if he beats Ilia Topuria, which should be a crazy win, you can argue that he's the GOAT. You know what? Yeah, he's the GOAT, because John Jones, with this kind of behavior, and John Jones took steroids to just win dominantly, because I think without the steroids he probably would have won most of his fights. Maybe not that dominantly. Like, imagine if he didn't take steroids against Gustafsson in the first fight. I think Gus would have beat him. But for Islam, I think that's it for him, because there are more people talking about Colby as being shit than people talking about Islam. I don't hear people talking about this guy as being like trash, and no. It's just that he should be in the top 5. Not just a conversation. He's already in the top 5. You can argue top 6. Who's in front of him? Like Volk, Mighty Mouse, GSP, John Jones. Those are 4 guys. So Islam should be in the 5 spot. So who's above him? Who? Like, honestly, who's there? Not Usman. And I don't want to hear anyone saying like DC or Steve. Like, just stop. So for Islam, he's just underrated. Colby's more like underrated and hated, and Islam's not hated. He's just being, under the radar kind of. So even though he's the pound for pound number 1 guy, I just don't understand. But I think that's it for the underrated guys. Now let's move on to the overrated ones. First, I've talked about this guy before in the video, and so you know who it is. It's JDM. And it's just, bro, I'm fucking tired of the people hyping up JDM. Like, listen, I'm gonna just break it down now. So, JDM, fuck, my microphone is, now it's okay. So, JDM, bro, he beat Gilbert Burns. Okay, look at the whole fight. Gilbert Burns dominated him for 2.5 rounds. Okay, JDM, how did he win the fight? First of all, he won by basically being dominated for 2.5 rounds by Gilbert Burns on the ground. And Gilbert Burns didn't do anything. He just, he just controlled JDM, and That was it. And JDM in the third round, he timed a nice knee up the middle, and that hurt Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns went out. That's it. You gotta look at it, what happened. And if you wanna argue that that's because JDM had a broken arm, okay. Look at his fights before that. He had a split decision with Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is not even ranked. And before that, he had a split decision, an absolute war with Basil Hafiz. Dude, Basil Hafiz just got KO'd by Oban Elliott. So stop telling me that this man is like a nightmare match for Colby. Why? Why is he because he's gonna knee him in the listen, every time when there's a grappler versus striker matchup, everyone like saying that for the striker that he's gonna time a good knee up the middle. But that's just not the case every time. Where was the knees against Bassett Hafiz? Like, I just don't understand, bro. This whole hype behind JDM, and against Colby, I think Colby would 50-45 him easily, because Colby at this point of his career is still better than Gilbert Burns. I'm sorry, Gilbert Burns, he was 37 when he fought JDM. So I know you can say that he had a broken arm, which is actually a good argument, because having a broken arm is fucking sucks when you want to get up from the ground. But before that split decision with Kevin Holland, people talk about this guy's boxing as, being, don't wanna stand in front of JDM, bro. He's gonna rip you. Bro, no. Kevin Holland almost beat this guy. He had a split decision with Kevin Holland. And as I said, Kevin Holland is not that good. Split decision with Bassett Hafiz. Bro. Stop the hype. Fuck JDM. He's not top 5 material. But he beat Gilbert Burns. Yeah. Gilbert Burns. I'm sorry, bro. Look, like, I think, and bro, and then another thing. People, like, there was like a rumored matchup between him and Usman, and even the odds are fucking crazy. Like, the odd makers, bro, guess who's the underdog? Usman is a heavy underdog against JDM already. Why? Like, the fucking Usman, bro. I think Usman, by the way, he's a more developed striker than Colby, and so I think Usman probably, you know what? I think Colby has a better chance than Usman still, but that's because Usman, his control, like his ability to control his opponents on the ground is worse than Colby's, because Colby, he's the king in that. Usman, he's good at taking people down because he's big and strong, but when it comes to keeping them down, Colby's better. Now, listen, if JDM can get up, that boxing of JDM, that I was talking about, Usman is still kind of durable. Like, let's look at the third fight against Leon Edwards. He ate some nasty shots, some vicious elbows in the clinch against Leon, and he didn't get KO'd against Khamzat. Khamzat usually drops his opponents. I mean, in a lot of fights, he drops them. And Usman, they were going back and forth in the second and the third round, and Usman didn't look like he was hurt against Khamzat. And JDM, honestly, who has this guy KO'd? Oh, Randy Brown. Randy Brown is not even ranked, bro. He's not ranked. KOing Randy Brown doesn't make you KO Kamaru Usman, even if he's out of his prime. I don't care, bro. Usman, he almost beat. He should have been a draw. That fight shouldn't have been a draw. Usman had a draw with Khamzat. So Usman, I think his fight, if he fights JDM, and I think he probably will, because if you look at the matchups in the welterweight division, then we have 3 guys left that doesn't have a fight booked yet. We have Usman, we have JDM, and we have Sean Brady. Oh, no, 4 guys, because there's also Leon. So I think they're gonna make JDM versus Usman in Australia, because in Australia JDM is definitely fighting there. By the way, I don't know why he had 1 year off. You know, probably because of his broken arm. But I just don't think he has that many winnable matchups in the top 5. I think him and Garry is a very competitive fight. Like maybe Ian Garry can stop him, like, at this point. But you know, if he fights Shavkat, I think he would beat Shavkat. Against Belal beats him. Usman beats him. Colby's not in the top 5, unfortunately. But I think it's just ridiculous because Colby's better than JDM. Colby should be in the top 5, not JDM. JDM should be in the 6th spot, not fucking Colby, bro. Fuck you, JDM. Like, who has this guy KO'd? Like, no one. Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, Gilbert Burns, nice, but that was like such a fucking lucky KO. Look at it. Is he gonna knee everyone that's a grappler that shoots takedowns on him? So that's, you know what? He KO'd Gilbert Burns with a knee, so that means that he's gonna KO Usman, Shavkat, Belal, and Colby with his knees only. That's how he's gonna win. No, but seriously, I think JDM was honestly like, he's overhyped. He's overhyped because he had a good win against Gilbert Burns, but as I said, that win is a bit sus. And it's not as good as people make it out to be. So, for JDM, that's it. But let's talk about the last guy, the last fighter, which is... Bro, I actually forgot who it is. No. I know who it is. It's a Dagestani guy. He fought at UFC 308. You probably know it's Shara Bullet. It's him. But let's just talk about him. So first of all, he's losing his fights. I mean, look at this fight against Mikhail Alexeychuk. Mikhail Alexeychuk won a round against Shara Bullet, and he dropped him. There were so many, messy moments in the fight. So many sus moments. And this guy also, he loves to cheat. He cheats in almost every of his fights. And the referees just don't care. He starts grabbing the fence. Nothing. He just gets away with it. And his last fight, as I said, against Armen Petrosian at UFC 308, he was losing. Look at this. You can look at the strikes, look at the scorecards. To be fair, I think the scorecards were, you know, probably probably they gave the first, I don't know, probably the first round or second round to Sharp because they corrupt, as we know. But look at the strikes. Orman outlanded Shara Bullet clearly. People are saying going into that fight that Shara's output is gonna, you know, and his leg kicks were so amazing. They're gonna destroy Orman. I know Orman's a tough test, and he was. I know it was a double back fist KO. Oh wow, so technical, bro. Double back fist. It's fucking. It's like a bar KO. It's like fucking bar KO. Two drunk guys and one of them hits a fucking double back fist. It's not, and they like. He called out Izzy, bro. Izzy in his last performance against Dricus, he looked amazing on the feet. He looked amazing. He was beating up Dricus, and I was afraid of Dricus. But eventually, we know what happened. Dricus got the dub, and because I'm not, if he fights Izzy, I want Izzy to win. But it doesn't matter that Izzy is a fucking weirdo, and we know he likes his dogs. The guy has a dog fetish. It's disgusting. But Shara Bullet, he is not an elite striker. He doesn't have much power. Okay, double back fist. Bro, he against Mikhail Alexeychuk, bro. Michel Pereira was able to finish Mikhail Alexeychuk. Shara Bullet, he couldn't. He lost a round to Mikhail. Mikhail is not a very technical striker. The guy fights like, he's Polish and he fights like how, the fucking drunk guys in the Polish bars fight like, in the Polish streets. He's not very technical. And he went to a decision. So, he just has too much hype. And that's it. I think he can improve, but I don't think he'll ever be a champ. Mark my words, he will never be a champ. That's for sure. Because we have guys like Hamzat, we have guys like who are the up and coming prospects. We have Anthony Hernandez. And you know what? I think Marvin Vittori would be a real tough test for Shara Bullet. You know why? So Marvin Vittori, as we know, the guy has an iron. Marvin Vittori has a fucking unbreakable iron chin, and he's like Jared Cannonier with his biggest bombs couldn't crack Marvin. So what is Shara gonna do against Marvin? And Marvin, he's kind of similar in a sense to Mikhail. When it comes to, Mikhail is a tough dude who's not very technical. Marvin Vittori, same thing. The guy, his fight IQ is not very good. He can make adjustments. And Marvin Vittori is kind of a better version of Mikhail Alexeychuk. Marvin Vittori, if he gets his cardio better, then I do think he has a great chance against Shara Bullet. Because even if Shara is a more technical striker, because, most of the guys at middleweight are more technical than Marvin Vittori, or just better on the feet. But I think Marvin's durability will save him, and he, as I said, he has the chance. So I think him and Marvin make the fight, and let's see. Let's see if Shara Bullet isn't, if he outschools Marvin for 5 rounds and it's just a complete domination, and he embarrasses Marvin, then okay, we can talk about him fighting Izzy and fighting Strickland and those, other elite guys. But for now, no. Like that, Izzy, if he looks the same as he looked against Dricus, he beats the fuck out of Shara Bullet. Like Izzy, if he comes out aggressive and he doesn't just, basically 10 leg kicks and 5 jabs around, if he actually starts marching down Shara and throws and starts throwing those leg kicks, those big shots, and bro, he will fucking KO Shara, I'm telling you. Bro, it just sounds like I'm glazing Izzy. I don't want to glaze him because I don't know if you've seen MMA Guru's video on Izzy. He's not likable. Izzy that is. All of the things he's done, like, no. But still, I think I would root for him against Shara Bullet because I don't want these kind of guys, these Dagestani dudes, to take over MMA. I just don't. And Shara Bullet, especially this guy, he's just fucking overhyped. The pirate. Fuck you. But guys, for now, I gotta go. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'm gonna make another video in the next few days, but I have school and I gotta study a lot because I've been out for school for more than a week now, and the next day, that's my return day. So basically I just won't have a lot of time, but I still gotta make something, and at the weekend I'm gonna go ham and make maybe not a lot of content, but I think I'm gonna make 2 videos this week, 2 more videos. So thanks for watching, and I see you guys in another video. So goodbye.